In a year that has seen the city of Cleveland win its first ever NBA championship and the Chicago Cubs make the World Series for the first time in 71 years, nothing can top the surprises dealt by this year's presidential election. Virtually every political pundit has said that this election has been the craziest of recent years. Issues have been overshadowed by mudslinging, with each candidate trying to bring down their opponent. College students were a key factor in President Obama's victory in 2008, so we wanted to find out the reaction of Sacred Heart students, most of whom are voting in their very first presidential election. Do you think these two candidates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, are qualified enough to run for the president of the United States?
Absolutely do not.
Could you elaborate and explain why? What's your reasoning?
My reasoning for it is just because they are two candidates that don't know enough in the political system and have been proven numerous amount of times about how they are about to fail in president or as going to be a president.
Obviously, having served as Secretary of State, I think Clinton could bring a lot to the table in terms of like foreign policy relations. And then obviously Donald Trump, has built a franchise and a lot of successful businesses. So I think he could really bring a lot in terms of, reforming the tax code and addressing our economy and those issues. I don't think, at this point, I don't really know which is more qualified over the other just because they have such different backgrounds. But I guess we'll see what happens.
Do you think age is a factor in this presidential election?
I think age with anything does determine something. I think if someone's younger, they have a better understanding of where the younger generation is coming from. People who are older really have that old mentality and don't really understand the younger generation.
I think so, because they are up there. They're both around 70 and they already have health issues. Like Hillary was sick. So if you're in office, that's not really good.
Right.
If you're that old.
Have you ever voted before?
I have voted in the primary, but I haven't voted in a general election. So this is going to be my first time voting in a general election. I'm so excited about it.
No, I've actually never voted before. I'm actually not registered either. And the two candidates that we have, I probably am not going to vote. If I do, I'm probably going to vote for a third party or something like that.
Do you think this election will ever deter you from voting again in the near future?
I don't think so, because especially this election, I see how important it is for everybody to vote, because if you don't, then you're just going to screw yourself, because everybody has to put their own opinions out there, and if you don't vote, then don't complain on who wins.
I mean, based on the candidates that we have, yeah, because I really don't agree with what they stand for. And I think that we really should have a president who really reflects us, younger generations, since we are the ones voting for our country and stuff like that.
In recent elections, the college demographic has placed significant impact on who the next president of the United States will be. The question is, will the millennials go out and vote this year? With only 2 weeks away from the big day, we'll just have to hold on, wait and see until the actual results come in. I'm Pat Scanlon, reporting for The Pulse.